Look at the ingenuity. Filled up the wheelbarrow so we didn't have to unload and load the tractor twice. So wheelbarrow filled up and bungeed onto the bucket.
What's up, guys? Brad here.
Deb here.
And what we're doing today is we're going to work on this back fence line, right?
That's right.
All we have to do is roll out the wire and then attach it to the T-post and also the H-braces. That's right, we got to do the H-braces and then we'll roll the wire. So you ready to get to it?
Ready, ready.
All right, let's do this.
H-brace number 2.
When we got here, we thought we were going to start immediately rolling out fence wire and getting some immediate satisfaction or progress done. Then we forgot we didn't do the horizontals on the H-brace. So we already had the post in. Now we're doing the horizontals. But I've just about got it. I just got to tighten up this ratchet strap and tie in these 3 posts together, the 2 verticals and the 1 horizontal. And this H-brace will be done, the second one. The last one, we have an H-brace on the corner, an H-brace on this corner, and 2 H-braces in line. That should be plenty to keep 700 feet of wire tight. And if it's not, then I guess it won't be tight because we're not putting in any more H-braces, are we, Deb?
No, we're not.
What we're gonna do next is take this 6-foot piece of pipe and put it inside the roll of wire, hang it by the chain on the bucket, and that'll let us unroll the wire going down the hill here.
There's our little stash of fence wire that we get on sale every year.
The most important thing to do is make sure I unroll this properly. This is called red brand wire, so the red side has to be up as we unroll it. First thing I got to do is get the chain through this pipe, which seems like an easy task, but nothing's easy. Then I got to hook the hook to the pipe or else it'll get stuck inside the chain. We can adjust this later when we're starting to unroll it, but what you do is based on the uneven ground is either let out one side of the chain or the other, because the wire roll will tend to go to the lowest side. So you want it to come out level, so you might have to lengthen one side of the chain. So what I did to get this roll somewhat level is I let more chain out on this side, and it just kind of hangs here on this pipe so it doesn't go through the pipe. And now I got this level, but if I need to change that, I just lengthen the chain on either side, because if this wire comes against this chain, it's hard to roll. So you want to kind of balance it as you're going down the hill so it stays in the center and you can pull that right off. Once we get it attached to the old wire, which is up the hill there a bit, we can roll this out and that'll just pull it right off this roll. Just got to get this side ready to attach to the new wire. It's kind of a pain to hook the 2 wires together, but if you don't do it right, you won't get a good stretch. You'll stretch like your top wire tighter than your bottom wire. So this is crucial that we get this right if we want a tight fence down here. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the 2 vertical strands together and I'm taking all these cut ends and wrapping them. But I got to do this to every one before we can pull it. And that way we'll get a nice tight pull. 3 hours later it seems, but I've got all these wrapped up, and what I'm trying to do is get this vertical, these 2 verticals together, wrap the wire around so it's nice and tight, so when we pull it, every single horizontal strand will be tight. But I got one more left here. You can see the 2 tag ends here, and I just wrap them around as tight as I can. Most important ones are the top one up here and then the bottom one. That's a thicker wire than these. If we get these good and fastened, that'll help keep the fence tight, but these are important as well.
I wanna do it all with you by my side. If you're in, meet me here tonight. Be brave and come along. I'll be your ride. Promise we don't need no brake lights. We can travel the world, so just say yes. Choose to do whatever comes next. This or that, getting drunk on whiskey on a Tuesday night. A drinking well I'm by an open fire, make love or fire.
How's that working out, Deb?
It's awkward, but it's working out better than I thought. It's a good thing we have Bella, because that's been helpful. I think the trick is getting enough line. That's another reason why we got Bella on a lead.
Never get under a tractor bucket.
Yes, never get under a tractor bucket.
With a roll of wire.
Evenings on the trail to catch a morning flight. Enjoying dinner until midnight. Or bed by night. This or wanna see it all. Find the north.
time we do fencing, I end up cutting myself somehow, some way. Today's no different. It's nice to pull out more fencing, but I can't lift it when there's that much pulled out. Actually, he's now past the first H-brace. All this over that wire, those T-posts, but I guess he has an idea. It should be easy. Doable, but not easy. Yeah, I noticed that one.
We got almost 330 feet unrolled. There's just a little bit left at the tractor. Probably just going to be able to stretch up to this first H-brace we put in. We're not going to get this whole thing done today. What do you got to say to Carmen, who prediction is becoming closer and closer to true?
Carmen said 6 days. I said 4 and part of another. This is day 4. So Carmen, I think you're going to win. Want to talk about your gadget?
I don't really like to talk about my gadget.
Yes, you do.
High-tech fence stretcher from Tractor Supply. It is a 2x4 and a piece of metal. And you sandwich the fence between the 2x4 and the piece of metal. You cinch down on the bolts, and then you attach to something strong like a tree or a tractor and pull your fence wire. All right, guys, this thing has been trying, to say the least. It's a good tool, but you've got to line up 4 bolts at the same time, and then this metal piece slips down over top of the bolt heads. And what we're trying to figure out is on the pull between this one and that one down there, we're trying to figure out if that's going to pull it evenly, because if you don't have this black metal piece tight against the wood, this wire will actually slip. And you'll end up pulling your fence at an angle, let's say. You'll pull the top tighter than the bottom. So we're just trying to get this right. We want to pull this tight and only have to do it once.
The struggle has been this one.
All right, I think we're ready to stretch. We're gonna get the tractor up in here and to come along, pull it tight, and Deb will go down the line and make sure the wire is not caught on any of the T-posts. Give this a good stretch, and then we're gonna attach it to the wooden post with staples to hold the tension. And we might put a few clips in today, but we're running out of daylight, so we're not going to get a lot more done. All right, I'm going to pull it a little bit with the tractor to start standing that wire up. And then when I get a little pull with the tractor, I'll switch to the come along where I can control it better.
That's a tile scraper, in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah, it's a tile scraper. Deb and I used to retile bathroom in her house, or actually her whole house, and then some in my house before we got married, and I just thought it'd be a good tool for chopping roots. So what we want is the wire to go in the ground a little here. I grabbed some bungees out of the truck. I'm going to use them just to hold the wire up against the T-post, and that way they got some flex to them. As I stretch it, they'll allow the fence to move with the stretching. Deb's just going to hold this vertical. I'm going to work to come along, and Bella's going to get in the way.
Yep. It looks tight.
So I lowered the tractor bucket so the bucket will dig in. It might be pulling the tractor.
I mean, it feels tight.
Pretty tight, but we're going to keep checking it.
We've never gotten one this tight that fast before. I can hear it moving. You're a dirty girl, Belle Belle.
It's real tight. I went all the way up to the top. Everything there was not binding up there or anything. And my splice from earlier is holding. I don't see any stretching there. It's pretty good. It's much better than the fence we tore down. What do you think? How's it looking?
I think it looks good. It got real tight real fast this time, which all the fencing that we've done, that was the quickest it's ever done, but looking good.
A 330-foot stretch, you would expect that maybe you'd pull the come along tight once and then have to get another bite. But I think what I did different this time was I backed up with the tractor a couple feet, and normally we would do it all with the come along, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm going to go ahead, give it a couple more clicks, and then we're going to put some staples in the H-brace to hold the tension and probably call it a day. All right, Deb's going to hold down tension on the wire. And then I'm gonna staple it so we get it tight against the dirt so coyotes and stuff like that don't dig under it. Right where I gotta swing the hammer, there's a root.
Pretty tight.
All right, 3 more to do. I'm working up a little bit of a sweat. I'm gonna do 1 right here where the horizontal crosses the vertical, and I'll put 2 up here on the top wire. That should hold our tension. DeWalt now makes a gun that shoots these staples, but we don't have one of them. Hint, hint, Deb.
Probably should have hinted about Christmas time.
All right, I'm going to let off on the couplung, and we'll probably lose a little bit of tension, but this will hold most of it.
Gonna release the tension.
All right, we put a couple clips on a few posts down there, just enough to keep the wire from like falling away, hold a little bit of tension, but most of the tension should be held by the H-brace.
See it moving.
Loose?
Nope, still looks tight.
You can tell it lost a little bit of tension from the pull, but the next pull will pull this one tight as well, all the way to the corner. But that's as good as we can get it. So we're gonna call that a day. The sun's setting, and it's time to get on the road. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. That's all we could get done. We got 330 feet stretched, but still need to come back and clip it and then do the rest going down here. If you enjoyed today's video, what should they do, Deb?
Click like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share with your friends. Otherwise, I think that's all we got.
Well, there's one more thing that we've got. Remember.
Oh, life is short. Tractor hard.
Life's short, tractor hard. Take care, guys.
Take care.